Opening statements are being made at Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York. Right now, let's bring in CTV News political expert and analyst Eric Ham. Okay, Eric, good afternoon. The prosecution and defense, they both had a chance to speak this morning. Let's start with the prosecution. What was their argument to the jury?
Yeah, they spoke for their opening statement was about 46 minutes. And what they did was they laid out their case in very detail about the payment itself. They spoke about how it was illegal. They also offered to the jury how they're going to walk them through this case and explain the process, and also the people that they're going to be bringing and putting forward to actually show how this is a crime, and more specifically, how Donald Trump actually sought to use this as an effort to actually win the White House.
Okay, what about the defense? How are they trying to explain this situation? And also, you know, it's being said that Trump's attorney said that the Manhattan DA never should have brought this case.
Yeah, their opening statement was far more explosive. You know, typically you don't see objections with opening statements because your opening statements is basically your opportunity to lay out what your argument is going to be, how you're going to present your case. And we saw 3 objections from the prosecution of the defense opening statement. Now, what's also interesting is the judge actually sustained all 3 objections. And what we are now seeing, at least from the opening statement that was given by the defense, is that they're going to make Michael Cohen clearly the backbone of their case, particularly in how they are going to attempt to try to discredit him and making their argument. And also, I'll just add very quickly, it was very interesting because what we heard from the defense is they tried to paint Donald Trump as a family man who we know is actually the backbone of this, or in the backdrop of this case is the fact that he was engaged in an affair with an adult film star. And we know Karen McDougal, the former Playboy playmate, is also another individual that he also had an affair with. So I think there is a very wide berth for the prosecution to already begin to attack the credibility of the defense just around that issue. And also we heard from the defense, which I thought was very interesting, when they said that Donald Trump is someone who was a very frugal businessman who did a lot of penny pinching. And why would he spend $130,000 to Stormy Daniels for a job that only paid $420,000? Again, an argument by the defense which goes counter to what we have known about Donald Trump and his reputation for decades now.
Okay, and Eric, we're looking at live footage of Donald Trump speaking right now. He's standing outside of court. So in addition to what you were just saying, we've also heard from the ex-National Enquirer publisher, you know, this morning along those lines. What sort of evidence is going to be presented to the jury? Like, is there anything to indicate that the prosecution is in possession of a smoking gun, so to speak?
Well, we only heard from David Pecker. David Pecker is the former CEO of the National Enquirer, and they ended the session today because one of the alternates had a dental appointment. So he was only on the stand for about 30, maybe 35 minutes. And what we saw was basically just the beginning of an introduction of this witness to the jury, explaining who he was, what his role was at the National Enquirer, and also beginning to make the argument or establish a relationship between David Pecker and Donald Trump. And I'll just say very quickly, when they adjourned, now we know these 2 men who have had a relationship for more than 30 years now, they don't even speak anymore. And when David Pecker got off the witness stand and exited, he actually leaned over and spoke to the defense table.
Okay. CTV News political analyst Eric Ham. Thanks, Eric.
You bet. Thank you.